Meet the Mathewsons. They're a dynasty of dealers
It drives really well.
with a love of classics.
It's only condensation.
In Thornton-le-Dale, gateway to the North York Moors, they auction over 2,000 rare vehicles every year.
42,000, the ready type, the stunning car.
All walks of life. The cars fetch people together.
I'm ecstatic.
Head of the family, Derek.
It's got to be the best job ever, isn't it? We're sort of living a dream.
Trusted lieutenants, sons Paul
Not everybody's cup of tea.
and Dave.
There's Dad's way, and there's Dad's way.
Keeping them all in check and dealing with the punters, Sarah.
Somebody could ring today with some fabulous vehicle that's been sat in a barn for 50 years. You have no clue.
It's the chase, it's finding it. So you get up every morning thinking, what am I going to find today?
This is a family's love affair with cars that have lived a life.
Someone's cherished a car and loved it, and I think it's just great. I think it's absolutely superb.
A passion that can be turned into brass. On sale this week.
1958 Armstrong Siddeley Sapphire 234. What a car. Isn't it beautiful? What a lovely old bus.
It's not in the best state, but it's been kept undercover from 1971 up until present.
1965 Velocet LE, ex-police bike. Yeah, and I remember getting pulled by guys on these and that, because you couldn't hear the damn things coming,
No, you couldn't.
see? I used to say things like, put that dustbin back. Where'd you get that dustbin from? Put that dustbin back. 1969 Triumph Herald 1360 convertible.
This Triumph Herald has been in the family for 50 years. It's only done 20,000 miles. They don't make cars like this anymore.
$8 a.m, Mathewsons HQ.
That guy, blah, blah, blah.
There are new emails that Derek would ignore if Sarah didn't keep a close eye on him.
If you read what they've said and then if you can reply to them. But I need a call on that one, really, imminently. And I need to check that champ.
Is that it?
It is for now.
But already he's got distracted by some old school post.
Oh, look, here we are, look. Here's our man from Hemel Hempstead. And he's very nicely, look, sent us some photos, look, of the Armstrong.
Oh, there you
Oh,
go.
look at
Car
that.
stored here for 48 years.
That's great, isn't it? Look at that.
The letter writer wants to sell a really rare 1958 Armstrong Siddeley Sapphire.
What a car. Isn't it beautiful? What a lovely old bus. Down at Hemel.
48 years.
48 years, and it's retained a dashboard like that. Look at that. Look. Fantastic, isn't it?
And when Derek takes a shine to an old bus, he's off.
He doesn't like to plan ahead because, as he always says, I'll book that in for Friday, but between now and Friday, it may change because something else might just happen. So I'm going to try it now. I'm going to say to him, I might come to work Friday. I don't know. Depends if between now and Friday I get a better offer.
The spontaneous outing to collect the Armstrong Siddeley involves a 400-mile round trip to Hertfordshire.
Nice cars. Don't know if this one particularly is going to be nice, but I've said it before and I'll say it again. They love something that's been stuck away in a barn for many years.
Only 800 four-cylinder Sapphires were ever made. Tim Dicker inherited one of the last in existence from his father, Alan.
My dad was a car enthusiast. He was a very good engineer. He's a bit of an eccentric, but he was a lovely man. This is a car He bought it in 1966. He ran it for about 5 years before finally parking it. I don't believe that he intended it would be there from 1971 up until present, but that is actually what's happened. It's not in the best state, but it's been kept undercover for all those years. The tyres were obviously all flat, but we've managed to blow them up and release the brakes. When we went through the car, we came across various bits of paperwork. One was the original bill of sale for when Dad bought the car. And I'll just read it. It says, received of Mr. Dicker the sum of £60 for Armstrong Siddeley VXF 467, as agreed. We've got the original registration book for the car. Each time the car was taxed, it has to be stamped. We've got its last MOT certificate for 1970 to 71. We've got the original Armstrong handbook, and it would be very useful to someone. It shows everything from engine, gearbox, rear axle, and obviously all the electrics. And also, would you believe, the advertising catalogue, the brochure, for the time when the car was made.
More a history lesson in the importance of mid-20th century British engineering. Armstrong Siddeley represents an age when automobile and aviation production was inextricably linked and vital. Their model names meant something beyond a mere car to the generation that bought them. The Whitley and the Lancaster, the Hurricane and the Typhoon. They were elegant and luxurious, innovative in some ways, with a really clever pre-selected gearbox, but with competitors Rover and Alvis looking towards the jet age, the Siddeley began to look a bit staid. The plug was pulled on the motoring aristocrat in 1960, and although thin on the ground now, they represent an era not to be forgotten, and they are much cherished by their owners.
How do you do?
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, and you.
Derek's arrived, fully prepared for a tricky extraction.
It's pretty much ready to pull out. We're just thinking that it needs to be pulled towards the back garden.
Yep. Got you.
Have you had any of these in?
No. I think the motor's great, by the way. Have you looked underneath?
No, you can't really. And when I was about 12, my dad sprayed all the chassis with some sort of oil or something.
Yeah, like wax oil or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, we were talking, I like to clear the decks, mind your head. I know we were talking about money. I can't see it doing above 2.
Okay.
I can't believe it.
It needs to go.
It's got to go.
So it might as well come to you. Now we've gone to all this.
There's no one in the country who will make better money of it than us, so it's either us or scrapyard.
I wouldn't want to see it go in
No, nor
a
would I.
scrapyard.
No,
I'd like
no.
to see someone do something with it.
So would I. Yeah. Right, let's have a crack then.
Okay.
Oh, lovely. Oh, you're doing well. Give it a bit. That's it. Steady away. Go on, a bit more. Hold it. Go on. Hold it there. Hold it. That's it. Yep. That's it. Yeah, you're all right. Yep. Straighten up now. Yeah, that's it. Yep. Yeah, you're out. You're out. That's it.
I'm thinking of taking it to the seaside tomorrow for a run. Look at that.
After 48 years, the Armstrong Siddeley is leaving the family home. When it last went through these gates, Tim had only just left primary school.
Ah, bang on. Well done, son. And if we can edge her up to them ramps, shall we? She won't go anywhere once you nudge up to them. Can you see what you're doing? You all right? Yeah, crack on, that is. A little bit this way. That's it. Bang on. A little bit this way, Tim. That's it. Yeah, crack on that. Crack on. Look at that. Great stuff, isn't it? Level old car, grand old thing. Yeah. I think it's better than I thought. Looks very sound underneath. Obviously rusty looking and flaky, but I just gave it a yank and nothing came off, did it? So that's a good start. Elegant old car, that. Well, wasn't that easy, Tim? Whoa, tell you what, I wish they were all as easy as this.
After his successful pickup of an Armstrong Siddeley Sapphire, Derek's gone off-piste and is roaming free in the southeast. He's booked himself in for another collection.
We're on our way now to L Street to see a very nice man, Alex.
The office has not been informed.
So you've no idea where he's going after the Armstrong Siddeley?
No, not a clue.
S03.
Elstree.
So isn't this all planned out on your operations board?
Not on mine, no. Come on, I'm just a minion. I'll get told last.
Managing Derek is not a one-person job.
Do you know what he said to me yesterday? We've been chatting about maybe getting someone in the office to help me out a little bit. And I said, it might be better if it's somebody younger. And he came over to me and he said, don't worry, Sarah. We're definitely not going to be able to find anybody older than you to employ, are we? How rude is that?
At his Hertfordshire home, Alex Aspis is preparing to say goodbye to a much-loved and cherished family member. From the flamboyant end of the 60s Sunday motoring, a roof-down Triumph Herald.
This Triumph Herald has been in the family for 50 years, exactly. It was originally owned by my father. It's only done 20,000 miles, 6,000 miles, when my father passed away and my mother gave it to me. The last 20 years or so, I haven't used it too much. It's a lovely little car. They don't make cars like this anymore. And whenever I take it out, everybody looks at it and everybody asks me, has it been restored? Well, of course it hasn't been restored, but they can't believe it. It's actually all original. The only special feature, well, which I like anyway, are the white wall tyres. I put the white wall tyres on, oh, God knows how many years ago, to make it a bit more, perhaps look a bit more American.
Alex inherited the family's treasured Triumph 47 years ago, but now it needs a new home.
We're thinking of moving into a flat as we're getting on a bit, and there'd be nowhere to keep the car. So, and my grandson, two grandsons I've got, both are not really interested in classic cars. So really it'd be a shame for us to have to give up the car, but we're going to have to.
An original low-mileage Herald like this is rare. Alex has been doing some research.
I belong to the Triumph Club, and I've seen the car like this, anything from 10,000, I've seen one even at 18,000, but I would think between those two prices.
Derek has arrived to inspect the car and make a valuation.
Nice to see you.
His eye goes straight to its unusual accessory.
Curb catchers. Yeah. Really to save your white walls.
Exactly, that's what they're for.
And you've had this from you?
From you, yeah.
Yeah.
50 years it is. 50 years.
Long time, mate, isn't it?
It is.
Should we have the bonnet up? Can we have a look?
The engine I don't know about.
I mean, this is where they go. This bit here, very often full of filler.
Oh, right.
Well, it ain't got any of that, has it? You can
No,
see it a
no.
mile off, can't you? Unusual bits and pieces around here. A lot of this is spillage, in it, from fluid. Well, someone will mint it all up, won't they? It's got to be done, isn't it? Because of the pedigree of the car, it's got to be done.
Right. Exactly.
So the next man's got to do it, and he will, won't he? No, I say she's not a banger, is she? She's lovely, isn't she? Love it to bits. I think it's brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Got to put a reserve. Where do you want to be?
How much do you think it's worth?
It's a hard car to value.
Oh, God, you're an expert, I thought.
Well, yeah, but they're also individual, aren't they? What do you think about £6 grand?
6 grand?
Yeah.
No.
What do you think then?
Minimum of 10.
I'm not sure it'll do it, you know, Alex. I just think there's too many dings and dongs around it. I'm just trying to sort of qualify you know, why it would do any more, and I can't see it would. You've got to get a figure you can live with,
Yeah.
that you're happy with, haven't you?
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing.
Well, 7 or 8's probably okay.
Well, you know, if you put 8 reserve on it, then I think, you know, I think we're in with a shout. I like to be up front from the word go,
No, it would be fair enough.
to be safe.
No, right.
And you never know, it might make 10. It might make 10, and that'd be lovely, because it'll surprise me, it'll please you, everyone's happy, aren't
Yeah,
they?
right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Let's do that then. Let's do that, right.
Okay.
Oh, back window's all right, isn't it?
Oh, well, that's good. That's another 1,000 onto it.
It's got a newspaper here, Daily Mail, 1979.
Those were the days.
How's that, Dennis? Remember Dennis? Mr. T?
Oh, yeah, it says. Yeah.
Dennis Thatcher? Yeah. You won't want that, will you?
That's extra.
We'll have a read through that. I'll show my little grandson that, Charlie. He'll love to read that. Bits and bobs. Right, let me get it on the motor.
Hi, Harold.
It starts.
So do I. Perfect. Beautiful. Lovely.
I'd hope that it would go to a good home. Not someone that just uses it for a year or two. A proper collector that, you know, would value it, you know, and store it somewhere. It's not only the car, it's my father as well. When I say goodbye to the car, it would be like saying goodbye to my father, you know, because it's the last real memory I've got of him.
Back at the garage, there's been a large delivery of memorabilia.
Thanks, Phil. Oh, look at that. Brilliant.
Sarah has been attempting to make sense of it.
Just tell me where this fits into automobilia, will you?
Keep tidying up, it's sugar.
I'm not feeling it today, unfortunately. Can they ride tandem? Can they?
It's quite
You
crowded
go on
in
the
here.
front, I'll go on the back.
Yeah, where did this come from? Like, it wasn't here.
Have you seen it? In honour of the Sarah. Do you see the resemblance?
It's auction day. Hundreds of prime classics looking for a new home.
Oh yeah, look at that. Kent engine. Yeah.
Elsewhere, and now in some sort of order, puzzling pieces of memorabilia available to the specialist buyer.
Full tackle motorcycle parts. A Spanish motocross bike it is.
I work in finance, risk.
Is there a financial risk in bidding on these things?
Well, absolutely. It's the risk that my wife finds out how much I've bid.
After 50 years in storage, the Sidley Sapphire has been enjoying a few days in the sun and getting some healthy attention from prospective purchasers, giving it the once-over. Paul Andrews from Lancaster seems keen to add to his assault at Armstrong's.
I'll be bidding by phone. I've got a perverse interest in these cars. I've got one as a road car and I'm building one as a race car for the historic race series, which has been a sort of lifetime project. So when one comes for sale, I'm magnetically drawn to it.
1958 Armstrong Sidley Sapphire 234. What a car, cracking bit of kit, beautiful machine, fantastic history with the car, history from you, all the paperwork, the books and everything else, instruction books and such like, letters, absolutely incredible. We think we've seen them all, but they're still coming out of the barns. Is there £1,000 for it? £1,000 we're off, £1,000, 11, 1200, 12, 1300, 13, 14, 14, 15 at the back, 15, 15, 16, 1600, 17, 17 at the back, 18, 1800, submitting 18, 19, 1950, 1950, 2000, £2,000, exactly where I valued it, £2,000, I think I'm bang on, £2,000 at the back, 2,050, 2,050, 2-1, 2,100, you're right, 2,100 at the back. 2,100 for the first, second, third and last time. Excellent buy.
Ed Norton from Northallerton, the determined new owner.
We came here specifically to buy one car, and luckily we've managed to buy it. Over the moon. My father was an Armstrong Siddeley fanatic. According to him, there was no other car in the world. And so when he died a couple of years ago, I decided I would definitely try and get hold of one. And here I am, yeah.
Ed has been to see a lot of Armstrong Siddeley's, but he's been holding out for a good one.
It's repairable. Everything's there. Nobody's ever messed on with it. Somebody hasn't started rebuilding it or anything like that. It's a good thing to start from. So I'll strip it right down, then I'll get the chassis powder coated, and then I'll just build it up from there. Just recondition everything and refit it.
Now in the showroom, the much-loved Triumph Herald, owned by one family for 50 years. Derek, keen to have another look.
Father bought it new for the firm. It's in a company car. So you know what people say out there? Never buy a company car. The fact of the matter is that going back all them years, the best cars we bought and sold were company cars. In fact, that's all I wanted to buy was company cars, always. Generally got new tyres on the week before I bought them. Full service history and everything, couldn't go wrong. So there it is, your company car. There's a hard top which is going to be offered to the successful buyer. I'm not keen on hard tops really, so you know, if I bought it, I wouldn't want the hard top personally, but someone might. He's got white wall tyres, as you can see. That's the one to have the thin band. You don't want the big white, thick band of that. It was too much for it. You only want them on big cars. There you go. The curb catcher tells you you're getting near your white walls. Get yourself out that curb. You're getting near your white walls. Fairly well dressed up, really, isn't it? You see, these wing mirrors would have been very expensive. When this car was new, which was 1968, 69, just wing mirrors were probably £4 each or something like that. So a lot of people just had one. The car might have been, I don't know, £800. Another £4 for a mirror was, oh, well, that's enough, like. Stone guards, which he's dressed it up with. I mean, they're rally stone cars, really, for rally cars and what have you. And then the piece de resistance is your stick-on chrome. Now, this came in and went out pretty quick. First thing you want to do when you get it home is take the rotten stuff off. Cross flags, he's got that on. And of course your coach line, generally speaking, well, to be perfectly frank, he's got it in the wrong spot. The coach line should go on the top of the swage line, and of course it shouldn't be a triple. Maximum it should be is a double, a thick and a thin. But that's where it wants to be, on that top of that line.
Some modifications might not be what a prospective buyer wants, but they say something about the owner.
It's cared for and loved, and it's personalised. And this guy's of an age, he's a bit older than me, but we're both of an age where you valued cars. They were a big purchase, you know, and our parents, his father and my father, stretched himself to buy a car. I mean, it was very, very expensive, and other than the house, the car would probably have been his biggest purchase he's ever made. You know, you had to keep on top of your car because it was going to last you quite a long while.
Out front, Sarah's next task is to catalogue a set of wartime morale-boosting posters, currently hiding behind enemy lines in a box of window sills.
There's some 1940s American Varga prints showing lots of glamorous women. Some glamorous men on that side as well, look. It's like Man at C&A. They are really lovely. I don't know whether or not they'd get away with this now, but in its day.
Alberto Vargas's paintings were often the inspiration for nose art on Allied World War II aircraft. But Sarah is left with no doubt what their real purpose was.
They're all giving everybody a bit of a morale boost, yeah. I think my favourite one is probably this one. She's showing the V for victory, but you could maybe say that she's giving Hitler a little hand signal there. When this military butte blows a root-a-toot-a-toot as a signal that the victory is won. There you go.
The Vargas girls appeared in the US Esquire magazine, but the good folk of Britain
1937.
were far more reserved with their choice of reading matter.
It's the Illustrated London News. This was Coronation Week. I mean, it's in such good nick, isn't it? This is really a look into the past. All the fabulous adverts, cars, table water biscuits. I still eat these. They haven't changed from 1937. There's life at Harrogate, always. The social life, the healthy life, the lazy life, the holiday life. People will take the ads out of these and make a feature in the downstairs loo. But then it's a shame to dismantle the book, isn't it? Oh gosh, look, this is an advert to if you want to give some money for the Waifs and Strays Society. We've got all sorts of stuff in the showroom really that shows what was acceptable through the decades and a bit of social history and how things change. I think they're lovely.
It's the day of the auction, and this morning Sarah's had a letter from a man keen to list all the cars he's ever owned.
A35 Saloon and also van, E-Type Jag, Morris 8, Morris 9000, Riley, Fiat, Rover, Citroen, Morris. Shooting brakes. He likes all the cars, doesn't he?
Elsewhere, the memorabilia is attracting a surprising number of people.
So what have you bought? Basically bought an Eastern Counties bus sign, which is from our local bus depot down in Norfolk. So what have you got?
A valve radio. They are fantastic. Yeah, they really are. Yeah, much better than a DAB radio today.
It's usually an enjoyable day out for all the family. But unfortunately, one group of boys has been messing about, and now they're in trouble with Lucy.
It was broken at the top because we did it break now.
Who knocked it?
No, I did, yeah.
Just bear with me.
Sorry about that. That's knocked value down.
Today's star attraction, though, is the '69 Triumph Herald 1360.
This is a car that's showing great originality and patina. Needs some work to get it to a good standard, but it's a good entry-level classic, I would describe it as.
Owners Alex and Philippa Aspis have made it to the auction. Hopeful of a big cash payout, they've hatched a plan.
A world cruise, first class.
I don't think so. We're planning to go to Istanbul for a week, so we might splash out and go an extra time to Tenerife.
We won't spend all the money.
1969 Triumph Herald 1360 convertible, cracking car. This one, I collected this one myself from down in the home counties. One family or one company owned from you, a company vehicle, father, passed on to son. One or two little marks around it, want addressing, but you will not find more genuine. Start me on it. Whereabouts? 5,000, 4, we're off. 4,000, 4,2, 4,4, 4,6, 4,8, 4,008, 5,000. £5,000 I've got. £5,000. 5,000 only, 5,000 is the 2, 5,000. Very low mileage, a proper car, £5,000 only, 20,000 miles from you, £5,000. 5,000 I'm submitted, £5,000 for the first, provisional for the second, third and last time, £5,000, provisional, very provisional.
Dealer Mark Springett, the highest bidder, £1,000 below reserve, but owners Alex and Philippa have decided Tenerife is more than adequate.
The owners have decided to accept the bid. So yeah, we're the proud owners, which is great. And I just think, you know, how many more one owner 20,000 mile Heralds are there? None, I don't think. So yeah, delighted, really delighted.
Mark could have this car completely renovated and possibly make a bit more money.
I love the originality of it. It's a real honest survivor car. So do you know what? We're not going to do a lot to it. I think we're going to leave it true to itself without painting it, without retrimming it, and let somebody just enjoy it, look at it and love it. It deserves that because the people have had it for 50 years. So it doesn't want messing with, does it? It just wants to be enjoyed.
There you go, an honest classic from a man who knows how to spot one.
She's great. Yeah, delighted.
You happy, man?
Yeah, right, yeah.
Post-auction, there's usually a few hours spare for some extracurricular activities. Today, Charlie's first car has arrived.
Oh, I bought a little auto test car.
For yourself?
Maybe me and Charlie might have to use it. It's we've done a couple of auto tests and we did quite well, really. We did all right.
Auto test events involve regular or modified cars competing against the clock around a course made up of traffic cones.
If you're good at it, you can drive it most of the time on the throttle. So you steer with your throttle, you know, track it in, give it a footful, and get it wheel spinning and sliding and so on and so forth, yeah. Let's have a little look.
Actually, it's a proper trials car, just with some different tyres.
Exactly that, yes. So it needs a water pump and no doubt a service up. She's not running at her best.
That's all
You
right.
reach the pedals?
Yeah.
Thought you would.
Oh, they don't go that far.
Keep her going. Keep her going, straighten up a bit. Yeah, go on. Go on. Go on, straighten up.
I think it's great. I love it, I really do.
I'm not quite sure who the car was bought for, whether it was Charlie or Paul. I think he's having more fun than anybody else. And as Evie said, has he got any skills?
Yeah, he's got lots of skills.
Charlie's new car is made up of various bits from a Ford Anglia, paired with a 1300cc engine. It's got 2 forward gears, 1 reverse, and a top speed of 40 miles an hour.
I was hoping it might run a bit better in all fairness, but there again, it's been stood for a year or two, so... He could be here for hours, couldn't he?
Getting a bit cocky now.
Pushing the lever the wrong way, that's why.
Hedge!
What are you doing?
I can't believe I binned it!
At the garage,
Morning, Mathewsons.
inquiries from all around the country.
You'd need to speak to Derek. Thank you. Bye-bye. Somerset. He likes drinking cider, he does. Even though he didn't talk like that.
Good to talk with you. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Arriving shortly, a rare Velocette LE motorbike from 1965. Renovated by family favourite Martin Toft, a benevolent man.
Second one we've handled for him. First one was a lovely little Italian bike, and he said something like, if I get me £1,000 back, whatever it makes above that goes for charity. And I think we were all thinking, well, it's going to make 1,500 quid, maybe £2,000. Lovely, nice. And then he was more than pleased. And I think it wound up about 3,500 quid. All the hundreds and hundreds of hours of labour, that's not counted. He does that for charity. Top man.
It's a 1965 LE Velocette, ex-Hull City Police motorcycle. I purchased it from a chap for £200 and it was just literally a pile of bits in the corner of his garage. They were called a noddy bike because when the constables were out on them, they originally had to salute the sergeant. And then they thought that was dangerous, so they decided that just a nod of the head was sufficient. and that's how it got its name of a noddy bike. It's a water-cooled 200cc. It's been a labour of love, really. I do everything myself, apart from the blasting, and then I take it from there, do all the wiring, the engine, the spraying. I've done about 7 or 8 now, and we always keep pictorial record of it.
Martin decided against keeping it as a police bike, but the clues to its history are still there.
Lovely job.
That's the normal place for the petrol tank filler,
yeah.
But the radio was on there, and so they moved the filler cap.
Yeah.
You've had many experience of these bikes then, Derek?
I have, yeah, absolutely, yeah. On a very regular basis, I might add. Yeah. No, I can remember getting pulled by guys on these and that, because you couldn't hear the damn things coming.
No, you couldn't.
See?
It's so quiet, it's unbelievable.
And you're up to a bit of skullduggery, and next thing you know, you've got a hand on your shoulder. I used to say things like, put that dustbin back. Where'd you get that dustbin from? Put that dustbin back. As we done before, didn't we? We have a figure back to you, and above that goes to...
Yorkshire Air Ambulance.
Yorkshire Air Ambulance. So whatever it makes above... where are we?
I think about 2.
Right. Whatever it makes above that goes to Air Ambulance. 1965 Velocet LE, ex-police bike, cracking thing this, start me on it where? 2001, 22, 23, 24, 2004, 2400, 2004, 2400, 2005, 2500 and it's sold and away, 2005, 2005, well done, 2500, that's 500 to the air ambulance. How lucky we are to deal with these people. What an industry we are fortunate to be part of. Magnificent, I think.
As for the 1958 Armstrong Siddeley Sapphire, it's now warm and dry at Ed Norton's workshop in Northallerton.
Although I do restore cars for a living, I decided I wanted it for myself. It's had to wait in the queue, but now it's come forward and here it is on the operating table now.
For Ed, Armstrong Siddeley's are a family affair.
Still remember travelling home from my grand's eating Cadbury's chocolate fingers in the back of Old Sid, which was my dad's 1947 Siddeley. There was plenty of people, not just my father, rated the car at the time as the second car to Rolls-Royce.
This 4-cylinder model, the 234, became the sports saloon of the range.
The story was they only made them for 3 years, and in the first year everybody bought the 6-cylinder one. And then in the second year it was discovered that this car has about 40% more power. You know, it's quite a rapid car, it's 120 horsepower.
Trouble is, they didn't make many, and the 234 has always been rare. But now, Ed has discovered something that makes his car unique.
This particular model there was only 803, of which this one is number 803. This is the last car they ever made.
This is the last one they ever made?
This is the last Armstrong Siddeley 234 Sapphire that they ever made, yes.
And how do you know that?
From its chassis number. It has its chassis number on it, and engine and gearbox and whatever, all the original stuff, so, yeah.
So it's an all original car?
Yes, it is, yeah.
Ed's been restoring cars for 40 years. He knows the pitfalls.
The car has steel wings on it, front and rear, and then the rest of the body, the skin, is aluminium. And if you put the two together, the aluminium sets rust in onto the steel, and the steel sets the corrosion away in the aluminium as well as a chemical reaction. This particular car does have some rust and needs some repairs, but considering its age and how long it's stood around, it's very, very good for one of these cars. This is the inner wing where the wings come off, and it does expose all the suspension. All that will be changed. We'll be putting different shock absorbers, and because they're things that, you know, all the rubbers, they'll all be beyond use now, so we need to renew all them. We'll probably do it with a modern poly bush as well, rather than the old rubber type. Obviously, the dreaded tin worm, it does all have to come out. It's no use cutting that little bit out and then welding it, because that there will be very nearly as bad as that there. So you need to take it out to the next really clean solid metal. Inside, we've took the whole of the interior out, and it was very, very good condition. It sounds simpler than it was. It's basically been cleaned. Didn't have any brakes in it. It hasn't had any repairs to the seats at all. The seat foams on the bottoms of the front seats were a bit soft, so we replaced them. Things like the dashboard, that'll be coming out because we'll re-varnish it and refit it. But that was it, really.
Any unwanted visitors?
A mouse or two had been there, yeah. They'd left some nesting material in there, but that seems to always happen.
Apart from the chrome work, Ed will do all the work himself. Big job, no doubt, but if you have the skill and the passion, it'll be done.
I envisage not spending a lot more than £3,000 or £4,000. 4 months maximum to get it completely finished.
And finally, the Velocette LE motorbike. Today, it's at Sherburn Airfield with new owner and light aircraft pilot Chris Burton. It was a chance meeting that brought them together.
I was at the Sherburn Aero Club's Vintage and Veterans Day, and I saw a driver on a Velocette. So I made some inquiries through that driver, and I found out that there was a Velocette being put up for auction at Mathewsons, and I decided to go to the auction and purchase the Velocette.
For Chris, it was this bike's history that made it particularly appealing.
When my father was a police officer in the Leeds City Police, he was on duty day and night on one of them, and as I was growing up, I became interested in the machines. And it wasn't until my 16th birthday that the opportunity came to buy one, and it was my pride and joy.
The LE model name wasn't a reference to law enforcement. It actually stood for Little Engine. 6 horsepower, in fact.
It's like a sewing machine. It's very clunky. There's no refinement on it. Top speed of about 30 miles an hour. That machine now doesn't have a speedometer, it's got a calendar.
But for a 1940s bike, it did have some radical design features.
It's one of the very few motorcycles produced which has got a shaft drive on the back. There's no chain drive in the back wheel. It's a solid gearbox unit with a water-cooled transverse engine. It's got unique characteristics. It's a head turner, it's solid, it's heavy, and it's well engineered. Having the Velocette for my first motorcycle experience, to now having a Velocette at the age of 69 as my final motorcycle experience, it closes that circle for me. I've been wanting one for many years, and it's like a dream come true.